Hello everyone, I'm Linda Bennett, your spiritual counselor and psychic host for Metaphysically Speaking. Tonight, the many faces of God. What does that mean? You're going to find out. Right now, 546-7379. Start dialing with your personal questions. Stay with us. And welcome back, everyone. New viewers, I realize there are a bunch of new people out there who watch the show every week. Metaphysically Speaking is designed to help you understand the seen world and the unseen world, bringing the soul, the mind, the body together on a physical planet, which is very, very difficult, and being able to flow in not only spirituality, but common sense, which really is spirituality. So we take a different topic every single week, and we help explore the universe. It could be on religions, as we're doing a similar aspect tonight. We could be talking about reincarnation. We could be talking about good versus evil. We could be talking about UFOs, anything in the universe. So that's what Metaphysically Speaking is all about, and you get a chance to call in. Now is when you do your personal questions about your home, your marriages, your jobs, etc. During the body of the lesson segment, only questions on the different faces or the variable faces of God. Okay, you're going to see what that's all about. So right now, 546-7379, start dialing with your personal questions. Caller, first name and comment or question.
Hi, Linda.
What's your first name?
Oh, my name's Karen.
Okay, Karen.
I was just wondering if you saw any really strong friendships for me coming up, or...
Real strong friendships, you mean like a marriage potential, or just...
No, just friends.
Just friends.
Right.
That's interesting that you say that, because I see like a few that have pulled away over a period of time. And is that what you've experienced?
That people have pulled away?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's okay. You know, I'm rewriting something I wrote years ago called Thoughts on Meditation. I'm talking about the fact that as you're moving forward in life, and you're advancing spiritually, that your soul is glowing brighter, and some people will be attracted to the light and other people will be repelled. And that's perfectly okay, because the ones that are attracted are on your path and should be there. The ones that are repelled by your light don't want to live on your standards, and you should never lower your standards to satisfy anyone else. Another way of looking at it is you may or may not be friends with a lot of people you went to grammar school with or high school with.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that was for then, but this is for now. And I'm feeling you're going through a lot of personal transitions, not just, they are spiritual, of course. Every improvement you make in your life is a spiritual improvement, but you're dealing with a lot of practical matters in your life too that you're transforming. And those people just don't fit in your life. And that's okay, because you're moving forward. So this is part of a readjustment period for you. I'm feeling that spring of next year, that doesn't mean you have to wait till spring of next year to have a friend or go to the movies.
Right.
But by spring of next year, you will have drawn to you several different types of people who will be more on your level, that you'll be more compatible with. I'm feeling also something about additional education. Are you thinking going back to school or something?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, what are you doing?
High school, actually.
Okay, so what are you going to do when you get out of high school?
Acting career. I'm going to try to...
Acting?
Right.
Do you know how difficult that is?
It's very difficult. Yeah, I checked into it a lot, and people have told me that I should try to pursue my acting on stage.
Okay.
TV.
Do as much as you can in experience. Get a really good agent. If you want to call my office, I'll tell you the only one who's pretty reputable in this area, and I'll tell you to stay away from.
Okay.
And you'd start with commercials, which give you very good experience, and get every bit of acting you possibly can. The thing that concerns me about you is I don't know, and I'm not trying to kill your dreams, but you don't have what I call the killer instinct. You're not willing to sell your soul, basically, to become famous. And that's a blessing. And there's nothing wrong with doing regional theater. There's nothing wrong with sticking with an ability that you have and working in the area, say, regional could be southeast, it could be northeast, or whatever, or working with groups that travel, take Broadway productions and travel all around the country with them. Those are not as cutthroat to belong to, and that suits your personality more.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And don't give up. I mean, I've told a story once before where friends of mine, who I happen to know, have a daughter who's only 5 feet high, and she auditioned for Chorus Line years ago, and they told her, you'll never, you know, she's 5 feet tall, you'll never make it, you're a great dancer, but who cares? Well, she's busy making over $100,000 a year in salary, plus expenses, including travel expenses, traveling all around the United States and Europe, and she does these road shows, and she's a great dancer, and she's making a fortune. She's just bought her own house, she has her own stock portfolio, and she's laughing because a lot of these people who are on Broadway had a one-shot job, and she works every day of the year that she wants to. So doesn't mean that just because you don't get to Broadway, you're not in a performing career. Okay?
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Linda.
You're welcome.
All right.
Caller, first name and comment or question.
Hi, my name is Leslie.
Okay, Leslie.
I met somebody the end of May that I thought would be a potential relationship, and I was wondering how you felt about that.
A first name?
His name is Joe.
Okay. And I'm feeling it's a possible, but there are still a lot of things in a lot of areas that you two have not explored yet. Where is he now?
He's in Clearwater.
Okay. For some reason, he feels like he's at a distance. Does he watch the show with you?
No, not.
If you see my eyes, you see I know. Okay, how can you not share this aspect of your life with him? And this is part of what I'm talking about. You know, there are certain things you just don't change people on, or you don't start a relationship when things are mismatched. The most important thing in any relationship, even if it's just friends, is that you be matched equally on a spiritual level. And don't make the mistake of thinking, well, you know, I'll pursue this and someday he'll come around. How can you have an intimate relationship with someone who doesn't understand your soul, who doesn't understand the things that you understand in the universe? It's very lonely when you try that. So the most important thing to do is to start sharing your spiritual understanding. Come to my meditation classes or the Open Metaphysical Questions and Answers class. Meditation is this Thursday, the Open Meta is next Tuesday, and that's a very good way to find out what this man really thinks.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Better find out now than find out when you're further along into the relationship.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Caller, first name or question, then we'll go to classes. Caller, go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead. What's your first name?
Connie.
Okay, Connie.
I have a question. My husband and I are going through a divorce. I'm a Leo and he's a Pisces. And I just wonder if there's anything that you could tell me about it.
About your astrology signs?
About my divorce. What's, you know.
Well, I generally don't like to just categorize one particular, just the sun sign. But there are certain characteristics that are pretty true. Leo women are very aggressive and protective and accomplishing. Leo men want everybody to think they are, but need a strong woman behind them. Pisces men, Libra men, Capricorn men, Cancer men tend to be what we call passive aggressives. They tend to find out what you want, pretend they're going to give it to you, and then fall short. They really resent women and they resent strong women. I'm trying to divorce that too. And you know, they become what you need them to be, and then they revert back to their previous behavior. And it's very difficult, and it's very heartbreaking. And you're not a stupid woman, but you just didn't see the full aspect that he had. And my feeling is, get the divorce and start over again. It doesn't mean all men are bad, but you have to, again, find someone who is truly your equal spiritually as well as intellectually and emotionally. But if someone is your equal spiritually, they will be equal on all other levels. Okay?
Okay.
You may want to come in to me for a consultation because I keep getting like a whoops in my tummy as I deal with you, and you're really dreading what's coming in the future, and you're really dreading what direction your life is going to take. So don't do that. Come on in to me and I'll work with you. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Caller.
Hello?
Caller, go ahead. It's you.
Yes, my name is Deborah.
Okay, Deborah.
And I've been told by several other psychics that I have some type of fortune or money coming to me in some time, and I was just wondering if you saw anything of that type.
I don't see anything yet. It might be from a small inheritance or something like that. Do you have any in your family you expect to die in the next couple of years, someone who's older?
I don't think I have any rich old folks around, no.
Well, even if they're not, they may have a small insurance policy. You know, that's very popular for a lot of people to say to make you feel good. I don't see any huge windfall coming your way, but I hope I'm wrong, okay? I don't see you ever being out of money. I don't see you ever being in need. I see that you somehow will always be taken care of, but it could be a small bequeathment, okay?
I see. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Caller, first name and comment or question. Caller.
My name is Kim.
Okay, Kim.
And my question is, I just recently have, I thought, somewhat dissolved a relationship, a love relationship, with a man I had been friends with for a number of years before. Now we are kind of evolving into a friendship, and I'm wondering if that will be a true and lasting friendship, or am I just wasting my time with that?
Well, friendship, you mean platonic, where you're not sleeping together?
Right. He lives quite a long distance away. As a matter of fact, he lives in Europe right now, so that wouldn't even be a possibility.
Right. What I'm feeling is he's reluctant to let go because he sort of counts on you for a friendship, and my concern is that if you're still hanging on to him as a friend, you may be thinking somehow subconsciously that this could turn back into a love relationship, and I'm not convinced that that's the very best thing for you, because I feel you'll always be in want, always be in need. He doesn't have all the qualities that you need to have a complete relationship.
Yeah, I really am not looking for that with him, so hopefully.
But that's my concern, that somehow you subconsciously would be looking for that. Okay?
Okay.
You can bring his picture into me if you want, and I'll take a better look at it, but that's what I'm feeling on it. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay with us for more Metaphysically Speaking. In tonight's Meta Moment, I warn you that ignorance thrives on hysteria. The undeserving maintain power by promoting hysteria. And that is out of Dune. By the way, I suggest that you pick up the Dune science fiction series. I've been saying this to you for years, that there is going to be a battle promoted by the scientific community to enhance robotics that are going to try to take over humanity. Well, they already have. Look at the millions of people out of work in this country because it's cheaper to have a machine than it is to have a human. And there was a report on CNN this week, a feature, talking about, they were interviewing different scientists who have invented these monster machines, whereby they not only predict that they will take the place of humans, but with the intelligence that's being implanted in them. And a scientist in Japan took actual human tissue and is converting it into brain chip, okay? And it's creating a thinking brain chip, so that the robots will not only replace humans, but they will be fighting humans. They will decide that humans are an annoyance and are a lesser species, and therefore the nature of the survival of the fittest is to try to wipe out what is not their equal. This is what Dune has been talking about. Frank Herbert. It's a wonderful story, wonderful series of books. You must start and read them in order. And it's also an admonishment against drugs. And I include alcohol, including beer and wine in that. Talking about losing your mind, losing your spirituality. So guys, every time you think it's amusing that a computer does something that humans used to do, remember, you're being replaced. Now, the reason for that is science has no spirituality. And spirituality is really the universal vibration of the oneness of all things. This does not mean religion, which is man-made, all right? This is what this was also talking about. Hysteria is do it my way. Do it my way, there is no other way. That's what organized religion is. Organized religion says, whether you're Catholic, okay, which Catholics are still taught, you have to be Catholic to go to heaven. I was taught as a child that you would burn in hell if you were not a Catholic. And if you were not baptized, you would go to limbo. Little babies went to limbo, which was this floating gray zone, and they would never see God or the angels. Jews, of course, are totally smug, and they think that they're the chosen people. Muslims think that they have the lock on the universe, and that if you kill an infidel, which is anybody who's not a Muslim, that gains you instant entry into paradise. And that's your ticket, of course. Mormons are a type of Christians, and of course it's female slavery continued because they have many wives. And I used to live out west for a year and met many Mormons and traveled all around the West. If you look at the three modern religions, which are Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, you have to understand something. There's a hatred of females. And I say that the planet is blowing up between Muslims and Jews and Christians. These are all people from the same family. Okay, they're all from the Middle Eastern tribes. I say they're camel-trading, women-hating Arab brothers and sisters from the same family in the Middle East. This is like the Civil War, where families split in half over slavery. Okay, brothers against sisters, fathers and mothers against children and against each other. So these are different factions of religions, all from the same block, and they all hate women. Now, the reason that Christianity is less intense against women is because Christianity took place, moved to Europe. It has a large European flavor. And Europeans have a history of females on the throne. Female queens, the countesses, female noble people who ruled countries. And they were not about to cloak themselves in a chador. They were not about to walk 3 steps behind the men or have a separate bedroom every month when they had their periods, like what is required in Orthodox Judaism. They ruled countries. And so Christianity is less severe against women than the 2 other religions. Any discipline that tells you that one half of the universe is less important and must be subservient to the other half of the universe is evil. It's evil doctrine. I don't care what robes they wear. I don't care if they carry a cross or a Jewish star or a 6-pointed star. They can start using that until the late 1700s as their symbol, but it doesn't matter. Anything that tells you that one half of a species is less important, has no rights, should be subservient or a slave to the other half of the species is evil. We are all created equal. And if you want to look at Genesis, make sure you don't look at the 3rd page. Make sure you look at the 1st page where it says God made man and woman. Okay. Then several pages later, it talks about this little theory of where women came from. All right. We are all original sparks of God. That means we're all pulled out like the wads of chewing gum that I always say, little strands of chewing gum from the original source. We are part of that original source. Now, New Agers say, well, you know, we're all God. Well, we're not God. The wave is part of the ocean, but it is not the ocean. We are part of the universe, but we individually are not the universe. And spirituality is the understanding, the lifestyle, the behavior, the attitude that both male and female and male are equal. No one is superior. In the ancient traditions, that is the way it was. We are in an unbalanced society on this planet because we have lost that message. It seems that in humans, might makes right? I don't think so. But that's the way, unfortunately, males have behaved, and that, unfortunately, is the way females have been stupid enough to allow them to behave. So what we're going to look at tonight is different aspects of God. We yogis have an expression that God has many faces. Hinduism is a good example of that. Now, if you listen to Pat Robertson, he very constantly lies on television. So does John Ankerberg lie on television, saying that Hindus are demon worshippers, Buddhists are demon worshippers. That is absolutely not true, that New Agers are demon worshippers. It's very amusing that these religions don't start wars and aren't blowing up the planet, but Christianity is. No one is a demon worshiper except demon worshippers. In fact, we yogis understand that the minute you draw blood or try to offer something live and kill it to God, that is evil. You cannot kill something and give it to an energy. You don't take a life and offer it to the source that created it. Do you understand that? You cannot kill something and say, here, God, here's a dead cow, here's a dead person, here's a dead chicken. It's not possible. That's destroying a life form. You can't kill something and offer its blood to an energy. So therefore, what we're looking at is a perversion of sacrifice. Sacrifice is not killing something. Sacrifice is doing something good for someone else. I'm not talking about being a doormat. Jesus may have said, turn the other cheek. He never said, lay down on the ground and get kicked. Sacrifice means doing without for the moment for the long good. Doing without selfishly so that others can benefit. That's what sacrifice is. Sacrifice is taking extra time out of your day to help someone else, to help a cause, to make something better happen, to work for the common good. That's what sacrifice is. Not slaughtering a lamb or slaughtering a chicken or saying this is the body and blood of Christ. How repulsive. You don't offer flesh and blood to a God source. Hinduism says God has many faces, like we yogis do. And they understand that you can never know all of the different aspects of God in one lifetime. So they say, well, okay, what's my personality? Well, you may love to be out in nature. And so you may decide to learn all about God in a particular form of nature. You may love healing. And you may decide to learn about God in the form of healing. You may be someone who finds it really a challenge to remove obstacles from your path and the path of others and success and things that they do. And so you would look at God in that form. So what Hindus are saying is, we have so many thousands of lifetimes. Instead of a little bit of every form of God and learning nothing, just focus on one aspect of God each lifetime and really experience that aspect fully and completely. Okay, so that's what that's all about. And we're going to start looking at some different forms of God that you are going to be familiar with. We're going to take an extra couple of minutes in this segment. So let's start with the first one. If we could see that on the tape. Okay, now this is Krishna, and Krishna came about 3,000 years ago, and Krishna is a male. Now you're going to say a male, but he looks female almost. Okay, well that's a painted statue, and when I see Krishna in meditation, he does not look that feminine. But the way he looks is androgynous, and androgynous means, like David Bowie, he could look either way. It means both male and female. Well, he came to India at a time of tremendous opulence, and also when India was forgetting to respect the females as well as the males. And he said, look, you have great opulence because of much work, because of the information you got from Atlantis, because of your spirituality. However, you're becoming more involved with the material than with the spiritual. And also, you're disregarding the female aspect of God. And God is both male and female, and in perfection neither. So he warned India that unless you kept both the male and female aspects of God current and respected women and kept them on equal footing with men, that India would perish. And take a look at India today. His prediction came true. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Buddha came about 700 years to 500 years before Christ. And he was a Hindu, but he didn't like what had happened. He was trying to remind people that they forgot the message of Krishna and that they had forgotten compassion and kindness and patience, that they wanted everything instantly. And they were forgetting the kindnesses and the softnesses and the balance of life. And he warned them that this was being lost and that, again, spirituality was disappearing. And people didn't heed his message either. Now, let's look at Christ. Christ came also from a royal family, as did Krishna. Many people don't understand that the house of David was considered a royal family, and both his mother and father could trace their lineage through the house of David. So he was born to Jewish royalty. And he really, according to Jewish law, was the Messiah. But as you know, he didn't like the way things were being done. He didn't like the opulence again and the materialism of the wealthy Jews and the keeping the people down. So he came to try to rebalance things, get things more spiritual, and elevate again the status of women. You are totally forgetting that Mary Magdalene was never a hooker. Mary Magdalene was the high priestess of the Temple of Jerusalem. Those of you who are Orthodox Jews or who know about Orthodox Judaism, you realize that no female can touch a rabbi a male priest in Judaism unless she is either his wife or a priestess. And we have all through the Bible talking about Mary Magdalene, him appearing to her after the resurrection. She anointed him with oils, which was a very temple tradition thing. The only one who could anoint would be a high priestess. So Jesus came back again to elevate, and Jesus and Christ are different, but that's another show. So the Christ spirit came into the Jesus body to remind the Jews that females were just as equal, and that to stop the greediness and the power-mongering. And of course, no one listened, especially what came to be known as Christians. Okay, who do we have next? There is Ganesha. Now, Ganesha is considered a Hindu aspect of God, and he is in the form of an elephant. Now, the Hindus say there is an aspect of God that removes obstacles. Obstacles to being able to pray, obstacles to being able to have children, to being able to get through life. And Ganesha is in the form of an elephant because elephants are very strong, very powerful, yet very gentle. So it's not a violent principle like we will see later with Shiva, but it is a very calm and loving principle. Elephants are very family-oriented and very gentle and will stop and give up their own lives basically to protect babies. They circle around the babies. They're tremendously protective, and of course they can remove a tree if necessary. Now what's interesting there, if you look, you can see that in his right hand there is what we know as a swastika. But the swastika goes in both ways. That is the clockwise motion, and that's an ancient, even pre-Hinduism, ancient symbol for the male aspect of God. And when the swastika runs the other way, it is the female aspect of God. And if someone will remind me to discuss that in class, I will show you how it represents the basis of life, but I have to draw it out. So that is a male aspect of God in the form of removing obstacles. And many people in India love that form of God because focusing on him, you can feel him helping you in life to remove the things from your path that enable you, that will try to prevent you from moving forward spiritually and having a calm and peaceful life. So he's the great obstacle remover. If you focus on Ganesha and ask him to help you, you will see certain things in your life moving forward. If you look up at the forehead area, at that crown, you will see the peacock blossom, and you also, the peacock feather rather, and you also saw that in Ganesha's headdress, and that represents the third eye, going within to the God source within all things. Okay, who's next? There is Shiva. Now, Shiva is considered the male aspect of the creative and destroying part of the, you went too fast, go back there to Shiva. There we are. The creating and destroying aspect of the universe. He is there to remind you that if things are not good in your life, you're responsible for tearing them down. If you are with people or situations that are destructive, you must destroy them. So if you focus on Shiva, he will give you the guidance and direction to tear down the aspects of life that are harming you and bring you strength and light. And you're looking at his staff, which is the trident, which represents the three levels of the self, the soul, mind, and the body, the three aspects of the male, the three aspects of the female. Why is he blue? Because blue was a color that was back on Atlantis and Mu, and that was a vibration that was around people who were calm and peaceful and in a spiritual light. Okay, and what do we have next? Here we have Krishna and Radha. And Krishna is back again, as you saw him in the beginning, and again he is blue, shown here. Radha was considered his consort. Now, people who don't understand spirituality think that this represents sex. It doesn't represent sex. It represents the perfect couple, the perfect blending of two people who are on the same spiritual level. And you see that he's playing the flute. The flute represents higher chakras. So what he is doing is bringing the energy up the spine. And that is talking about the spiritual aspect, using the spirituality. And she is holding, again, the peacock feather. And she is also acknowledging and reminding him that the energy must be brought up from the lower chakras up to the higher chakra, that love is not just for physical, but it is for reuniting the ultimate male and female energy together. God is both male and female, and in perfection neither. Okay, we have what, one more? Is that Martin de Porres? Okay, one more left. Now, Martin de Porres has come to be a favorite of mine. He is Saint Martin de Porres. You can see the little dog in front of him. You can barely see the cat and the bird. Now, he is not an aspect of God, but he was a saint from Mexico. And since he was of mixed blood, the Catholics didn't like him. The Spanish didn't like him. He was an outcast. But he had very interesting abilities. He was a psychic and a spiritual healer. And he blew away the Catholic Church with his abilities to heal, to help, and to guide people. And also, animals loved him and flocked around him, very similar to St. Francis. So if you say to yourself, well, some of these aspects of God might be a little intimidating for me, if you can relate to a person who lived not long ago and say, well, this being loved God and expressed his psychic ability and love of all creatures, you can relate to God in that way. Now, when we come back, we're going to do some of the female aspects of God, so stay with us. And another meta moment. The secrets of spiritual life are open to those who venture, not to those who seek guarantees for every step. And that's out of Zen Munchkins. Okay, so in other words, if you are true of soul and mind and body with an open heart and an open mind, you will find God in many aspects. Now, let's look at some of the female aspects of God. This, of course, is Isis, or as I say, Isis, and someone who is Egyptian told me that's the ancient way of saying it. And she represents the original divine mother, a female aspect of God in all forms. Now, she and Osiris were the male and female aspects of Egypt. They are actually older than New Egypt. They predate back from the time when Egypt was up, and so was Atlantis. And she represents the creative aspect of the universe, as does all aspects of the female energy of God. And she is non-religious. She is above religion, just as Osiris is above religion, just as Buddha and Christ and Krishna and Mary are above religion. Even though the Egyptian religion followed her and Osiris, it is a balance of the Osirian and Isisian energy that creates the life, regardless of what dimension you come from, or what part of the world you come from, or what part of the galaxy you come from. There is always an equal balance of the male and female energy to create life. Okay, let's go to the next one. This, of course, will be familiar to Christians. This is a Christmas card, and this is Mary with baby Jesus. Now, having said before that Magdalene was never a hooker, Mary was never a poor little simpleton, and no angel visited her in the night and impregnated her. She was also part of the Temple of Jerusalem and a priestess in the Temple of Jerusalem. And virgin meant that you had not married yet, but you could still have had sex with your betrothed. Every Orthodox Jew will explain that to you. No one at that time ever thought that this woman was visited by an angel and impregnated. That's mythology. That's for children. This woman was betrothed to Joseph, who also studied, was probably in a scene, and they followed that discipline, and she brought forth Jesus, who became the Christ Spirit. Mary is busy everywhere. What you have to understand is Mary appears all over the planet, so does Isis, so does Ganesha. They do not discriminate. They understand that we're all part of God, and if you have an energy that is willing to accept her, or Buddha, or Ganesha, they will be there to send you blessings and energy. And Mary saved my life when I was 17, and I'm extremely grateful and close to her. Next picture. That is Avalokitesvara. She is an aspect of God that says that you can attain total reunification with the God source, which is where you came from, with patience, with understanding, with compassion, and through the teachings of the Buddha, which represent those aspects as well. So all through spirituality, you will notice several things: patience, compassion, understanding, and love. And that is what all aspects of God are about. Next, we have Pele. Now, she is one of my favorites. She is considered from the Pacific area. Some people think she's specific to Hawaii, but she is another creative, destructive aspect of God, and she also represents the Kundalini energy rising up the spine, reaching higher spiritual energy. And she is also considered a great destroyer, but not out of evil, but out of understanding that everything comes in cycles. I had a friend visit Hawaii, went to a garden she felt compelled to go to, and Pele came to Siobhan and gave her a special message for me. So you don't have to live in Hawaii, and you don't have to be an original kahuna to get a message from Pele. You don't have to be Catholic to hear from Mary. You don't have to be a Buddhist to hear from Buddha. She is a creative, powerful aspect reminding to you to use all of the power and light that you have within to make your life work. And there we have Durga. She is the female essence of God in the form of protection and chasing away evil. Tigers are very territorial and very protective, and she rides a tiger because she means business. If you feel evil is influencing you, if you have evil people around you, call on Durga for power and protection. She is there to help save you so that you can move forward in your spirituality, and those are her many tools of creation and destruction. And there we have Green Tara. And she is the female aspect of God in all forms of healing. And she's there with the special deities on top, the sub-deities or beings that she has appointed to bring healing to people throughout the galaxies. And if you're not feeling well, she's a tremendous helper. When I was having problems with a pinched nerve in my neck last year, I asked her for a blessing, and the next morning, not having any feeling in my body, in one half my body, I was 90% better, and the next day I was completely better. So she represents Divine Mother in the form of healing. Remember something, and I realize we're running out of time here for calls and everything. God has many faces. We, souls, are both male and female, and in perfection neither. As we go through the reincarnative process, for many lives we're male, then we flip over to female, flip over to male, female, etc. There is no one aspect that is better than another. And we're going to focus on this in our journey, so stay with us. And welcome back, and this is where we get a chance to relax and tune into God and the angels. And tonight we're just going to focus on an aspect of God in light. So sit up nice and straight, focusing right above the nose between the eyebrows. Eyes closed. Through the nose, take a nice deep cleansing breath. Filling your entire body, mind, and soul with God's brilliant white light of love, protection, peace, and harmony. And feel yourself inside your crystal pyramid cave with your guardian angel standing behind you. God's light surrounding the cave on the outside. In a brilliant stream of God's light flowing down directly into the top of your head, flowing through your entire body. And the entire crystal pyramid cave filled with light and peace and love. Feel this light vibrating through you and helping you delve deeply within your subconscious, helping you delve into past life memories, into understanding why you are here on the planet. And feel both the male and female aspect within coming to a balance, a peace, a calmness. Be you physically male or female, spiritually, you are both and balanced. Breathe the balance of being one. And now, feel that one racing up into the heavens towards a giant beam of light. Your soul flowing into the one light that is all. Feel the divine love from the Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, enveloping you, energizing you, reinforcing you. Feel the love of all of the aspects of God, the millions and millions and millions of aspects of the God force that we are all part of. As you have many aspects to your personality, there are many aspects to the divine light. As all of these aspects of you form together, you are now perfectly balanced as the six-pointed star, which is really two triangles, male and female, perfectly balanced, perfectly flowing, but as the one. When you finally experience this and live your life accordingly, you will have respect and love and kindness for all forms of life and all people. We're all part of the whole. And that whole light is what we are, what we flow within, where we came from, where will we return to. Feel that light flowing through you. Feel the molecules of your soul, mind, and body blending with this light, this love, this peace. Feel the entire planet vibrating in this brilliant golden white light. Feel the light vibrating through the entire cosmos and back again. For we are one with God, for we are one with the universe. Hello, I'm Linda Bennett. Do you have questions about your personal life? What about your relationships? Where's your life going? How about a career? Do you need to go back to school? What about those spiritual questions you always had in your back of your mind, but you just didn't know to ask about them? Or how about finding out why you're here on the planet to begin with? Call me at 736-4567 and we'll arrange an appointment. Now, if you have a product or a service you'd like to advertise with us, call 736-4567 today. And for those of you who want to learn how to relax and meditate at home and perhaps tap into your own true potential and, of course, get rid of old sorrows and disappointments and bring in new joy and peace, pick up my 2-cassette kit called Inner Journey Volume 1. They're not subliminal. They are not hypnotic people. There are no shortcuts to inner peace and salvation and universal light. It's all you. And how many things do you have total control over? Not very many, but you have total control over your own balance and harmony, and that's what these tapes teach you to do. So you can pick them up at various bookstores around the area, at Chundo Taekwondo, and at my center. The callers on the line, something I wanted to bring to your attention. On the 24th of September at St. John the Divine in New York City, which is an Episcopal church, the UN for the 50th anniversary is sponsoring a big interfaith prayer. It's under the auspices of the Temple of Understanding. The Chinese communists, which have veto power on the Security Council, vetoed the appearance of the Dalai Lama. Now, the Dalai Lama represents multi-millions of people around the world. And this is a very frightening aspect. The Chinese communists could once again, because they've done this before, once again tell the United States of America and the entire world that we cannot have one of the most well-respected and spiritual people on the planet. My suggestion is that you all send letters or faxes or telegrams to the UN, New York City, and protest this. This man is one of the most credentialed spiritual people on the face of the earth, above reproach, who speaks to people of all faiths. And one of his books is called Kindness, Clarity, and Insight. It pertains to all people. And the Chinese communists can tell us what we can do in this country and what we can do in the world. By the way, the Chinese herbal foods I work with are not from communist China. They are from Taiwan. And also they're growing herbs in this country. So don't get the two mixed up. But I think this is a disgrace. If you're not happy about that, if you don't want the Chinese communists running the world, And there another aspect that we have to be concerned about, not just the Muslims, then I suggest you do something about it. You don't even need the street to just say UN, the United Nations, New York City, New York, it'll get there. Okay, and I also plan on following up, and if there's a specific mailing address, I'll have it for you next week. Okay, caller, first name and comment or question. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
My birthday is October 4th.
I don't need your birthday. Just ask your question and give me your first name.
My name is Jennifer.
Okay, Jennifer.
I just ended a very unhealthy relationship, and I was wondering if there was a positive relationship and maybe marriage coming into my...
Yes, there is. In fact, that relationship could have cost you your life, so you're very lucky that you're out of it. You really need some skills in how to relate to people, and you need some skills in how you should be treated as a person. It's not even just men, but men specifically. If you decide to come to me for a consultation, one of the things I do, aside from a body scan, determine different chakras that are out of balance at different parts of your body, is tap into some of the tendencies you brought with you from other lifetimes and why you manifest this kind of behavior. If you don't want to come to me, go to a psychologist that specializes in behavior and getting rid of destructive impulses. I work with people like this all the time. In fact, I do work with certain psychologists who refer people back and forth because they don't understand why this is happening in the person. So my concern is don't go near anyone, stay by yourself for a while, and we need to fix you so you don't let history repeat itself, because you could have wound up dead. The cemetery is filled with women who didn't believe that their men could kill them.
This relationship I was in, was that serious?
Yes. Yeah, you could have lost your life in the not too distant future. So I'm very happy you're out of it. Stay away from him. No one should hurt anyone else. And physical abuse is always preceded by emotional abuse. Okay?
Okay.
So I hope I see you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Caller, first name and comment or question. Caller. Caller.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Susan, and my question is, my husband and I were deciding on starting a family. Do you see that any time in the near future for us?
Yeah, one of the things I'm feeling, you're not ovulating out of both ovaries regularly. You're supposed to alternate, you know, one left, right, but I'm seeing that you tend to skip at times, and this might be you will get pregnant. But that might be a bit of a problem. I would suggest that you look to conceiving at a time that you will have a baby that matches your personalities. It's too late for Sagittarius, but we could start counting back and thinking of having a Gemini baby, having a Libra baby, having a Sagittarius baby, especially for the first one. Because you guys need a little baby that's happy and cheerful, and those are cheerful babies. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
We have a minute left in the show? Okay, 30 seconds. I just want to reemphasize this. No one aspect of God is more important than any other aspect. All of the aspects of God are there. If you're going through struggles and you need an aspect of God to remove the problems, call on Ganesha. If you need to feel more strongly about your feminine energy, call on Mary, call on Tara for healing. All aspects of the universe are equally important, as are we. If you just open your hearts and minds to God's universal truth, you're going to know that God and the angels are always with you. Stay with us.